Welcome to Keep Trucking Personal. I'm Tyler Kivi, a third-generation trucker, and my purpose is simple: to make sure the definition of trucking doesn't get lost in the culture this industry is drifting toward. This podcast is about real stories, the hard lessons, and the standards that built this business long before apps and algorithms. If you believe trucking is more than freight and its responsibility, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to Keep Trucking Personal. This is part 2 of our Living Radical series. And last episode, we talked about intensity. And that meant showing up locked in with a laser focus and refusing to just drift through life. And that is a huge part of kicking off this series. But here's the truth. Intensity by itself, you guys, is not enough, because intensity without consistency is just a one-off. So you can see where we're headed for this episode. You can have a great day, and you can have one really strong week or one killer day, one motivated stretch, right? You hit it right out the gate. But if it doesn't repeat, it doesn't matter. So think about that. Like, you can have intensity, you can come at everything laser focused, you can be assertive and forget the moderation for this series. But if you don't do it over and over and over again, it doesn't matter. So let's talk about consistency, the theme of this episode. I'm going to reference a half marathon that I trained for. And if you've ever trained for anything like that, you know it. It's not glamorous, right? It's pain after pain after pain. You continue to go through it every day, and there's usually never just a big breakthrough. There's not just a huge moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I've arrived, right? It doesn't go that way. You run every single day, or you train consistently, and you continue doing it, and you start to slowly feel different. But most days, the change is small, it's minuscule, but it's steady. And when you show up, you start to almost, it messes with your mind a little bit, right? It's inconvenient. You're doing this training consistently, and you're running when you're tired and you don't want to do it, and you just keep doing it because you're trying to get prepared for this. And then like you're trying to do it in the early mornings, midday, during lunch, or whenever you can squeeze it in, and it keeps just turning into this next day. But then I realized from my own, when you look at the stats, because I recorded every run just to try see that minuscule change, it shows up over time. It takes time. It takes consistency. You stack enough of those small runs or those consistent days, and you look back and realize you built something. And that's consistency. It finally showed up. It felt like it took forever to get there, and it showed up. And we live in a world now where everybody wants everything instantly. Hence Amazon, right? There's a reason Prime exists. I'm guilty, right? Who wants to wait? You want it now. You click buy now, and you want it in the mail instantly. And that's that instant gratification, but that's not how real growth works. And that's a problem, because we're used to the instant gratification, but we don't want to put the work in to get it. And it just doesn't work that way. It's built on small actions done repeatedly over time. And in trucking, it's no different. It's not one perfect load that's going to define you or put you up on the wall. You're not going to get a huge plaque after you've done one thing right. It's checking on your equipment every single day. It's securing the load the right way every single time, and stopping and checking to make sure that it's stayed how it was put. Communicating clearly on every single shipment and letting everyone know for updates, and doing the best you can every single time. Doing your paperwork. It's as subtle as your paperwork, consistently over and over every single time, and it's showing up on time consistently. And over time, that builds reputation. It builds trust. It builds reliability. And that's what wins, you guys. That's the difference. You come at it intense, and you do it consistently over and over and over. And that's the best drivers. That's the best teams. That's the best companies. Doesn't matter if you're in trucking or not. They're not just amazing or great because of that one big moment. Like I said, it's not one load. It's not one quick job that defines who you are. You become great because of consistency. You don't cut corners, one day and just decide I'll tighten up tomorrow. Today's a slack day. You do it the right way every single time. And that's a standard. And every single day you run that way. And that's what separates the professionals. That's what separates the winners. That's what makes you top tier, because anyone can be intense for a day. Like I said, if you show up and have an amazing day, you're not quite onto something quite yet. You started. It's okay to start, and you have to start, right? but you didn't win because of that one day. And it's so subtle. You have to do it every single day. And that's taxing. Nobody wants to be told you have to be perfect or strive to be perfect every single day. Nobody wants that. That's pressure. And nobody can do it consistently every single day for a year. But there's times where you start to slack, but you have to get back on the horse and get after it. And that's where it all comes together, the intensity and the consistency, and you blend it together and you start to build a winning recipe. Intensity gets you started and gets you focused, gets you locked in, it gets you moving, right? It gets the ball rolling. But consistency is what builds something real. And without consistency, that intensity is going to fade. You can't just spin it up every single time that you want it. You've seen it before. Someone gets motivated, they go all in, and then 2 weeks later, they're gone. Let's talk about New Year's resolutions. Think about it. How many times have we got excited about something because now is the time, and then 2 weeks later disappears? I'm sure all of you can relate. We've all made purchases that seem like they're going to make your life so much easier, but they do require effort. And then all of a sudden that thing is sitting up on your shelf. It disappears. It ends up in the trash. It's something that we went after it, but we didn't stay consistent. But intensity with consistency, now you're talking dangerous, because you're showing up, you're focused, you're prepared, and doing it over and over again. And that's how you build a winning culture. That's what we are after at Kivi Brothers. We want you to win. And that's the standard we're continuing to chase and build. And consistency is about being perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, and I don't claim to be, and I don't think you are either. But it's about having that standard, and it's saying, this is how I operate. This is how I do things here. This is how we do things here. This is our standard. And this is what I expect from myself. I want to show up every single day and give the best that I can and do it consistently. And even on the days you don't feel like it, that's the challenge. That's when you know you're winning, is when the days you don't want to do it, you do it. And because those are the days that will define you if you think about it. Those are the days that give you the opportunity to flex and say, I can do this. And actually, those are the days you start to see your results, when it hurts, when you don't want to be there. And if you want to build it and build something meaningful, whether it's in trucking or in your personal life, you have to play the long game. And that's so hard. That's so hard. I've talked about it on previous episodes. So many people get into the driver's seat at a trucking company. And it's not just here, it's industry wide. And they get into the driver's seat of a trucking company, and they want that instant gratification. They want that instant huge paycheck. They want that winning recipe, but they don't even know how to do it yet. They don't have the intensity at the company because they haven't learned the company. They don't understand what to be intense about. They may have consistency, but they don't understand intensity, or vice versa, right? They're intense, they get it, they understand. They're focused on making money, but they don't have consistency. They don't put down the miles. They don't do the job over and over again to the best of their ability, and it shows up. And we all want that instant gratification, but you have to look down the scope, look down the barrel, and understand this is a long game. I have to know what I'm chasing. I have to know what I'm after. I have to be clear about my expectations, and I have to hit it. I have to hit the bullseye. And you're not going to hit it every single time. But you have to be willing to do the small things right over and over again, and without always seeing immediate results. I think that is the hardest part. We all can agree to that. So that we do things, like I said, training for that marathon, or somebody goes to the gym every single day. And that's the hardest part, because you expect to see something instantly. You expect to have return on that effort, and it doesn't show up right away. It takes time, and it's hard. But that's where the separation happens. That's what sets you apart. If you can do those two things together, that's what sets you apart from the rest. It's so important that we take time. And I hope if you're a driver, you're going down the road, you can listen to this, you can visualize where we're headed with this, the intensity to go after what is necessary, the intensity to be the best driver that you can be, the intensity to have laser focus on this mission and how to do it over and over and over every single day with consistency. It's so simple. It's so simple, friends. It's right at the tip of your nose. You can reach out and touch it. You just have to do it. And that's the hard part. Nobody wants to do that. So next episode, we're going to wrap up the Living Radical series with part 3, and that's urgency. Because consistency builds momentum, but urgency makes sure that you do not waste time. So please listen to episode 1 of this series, listen to episode 2, and get ready for episode 3 of Urgency, because we are ready. Thank you for listening to Keep Trucking Personal. If this episode hit home, share it with someone who needs the reminder. And remember, do what's right, do your best, and show people that you care. We'll catch you next time. Until then, keep trucking personal. Appreciate you tuning in. If you got value out of this, subscribe and send it to someone who takes pride in the job. We're not just moving freight, we're shaping the culture. Catch you on the next one.